So maybe the new time rules aren't so bad after all? Okay, wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Before I get hate, guys, just listen. But first, what's up, YouTube? Deaddraw here, bringing in the video today. Today, we're going to be doing a double upload. Yes, we are talking about the time rules in the second upload of the day. So, let's talk about these time rules. In general, the time rules are very much hated so to the point that at the NAWCQ, people would actually boo when time was called. I heard this myself a few times. Let me know if you guys actually heard it as well. But it was pretty crazy that this was happening. I thought it was pretty funny to the fact that we were actually letting Konami know that we do not like the time rules. Now, let's talk a little bit more about it. Now, I really, on the drive home, I was really thinking about the time rules as I took a first round draw. And I was thinking about it. Are the time rules just bad? Are they just bad rules in general? Or did they kind of like just implement them at a really bad time? If we look at the format we have Trickstar being one of the best decks, a burn deck. And these new rules seem to benefit burn decks very much so. So that's already one thing that's very poor about the meta. So it's kind of interesting to see. A lot of times you can win just off the sheer amount of damage you do to a player when there's only a minute left in time, just from going reincarnation with a double Licorice or even one single Licorice on the field. It can be an extreme blowout that your opponent won't even get to enter the battle phase with enough monsters on the board to put out that same amount of damage. So that's already one problem. But then we look at like this other best deck of the format, and I would say would be Goki. And the thing about Goki is, sure, they don't really have things that burn or play time advantage like that, but Goki players, like, their turns take a lot longer. It is a combo oriented deck. There are multiple things that have to happen in a turn for them to be able to set up and establish a board that's good enough to win with. So their turns do end up taking a bit longer. And Goki players will sometimes argue, well, our turns really don't take that long. But sure, maybe they don't. Maybe the combos don't take long in general when you're playing Solitaire. But when you add a few disruptions into it, and trying to play around certain cards and just playing around with certain hands, these turns end up taking a lot longer than they honestly should. I think that is actually a big part, is that Goki players hate the Trickstar's burn, but Trickstar players kind of hate how long Gokis take to play. But Trickstars kind of hate it because, you know, their deck's so good in time. This is being one of the things that Trickstars like are really good for. It's just absolutely insane. And if we look at Trickstar, and even with the Sky Striker engine in it, their turns in general don't really take that long. It's not super combo orientated, besides the fact that you flip Scapegoat and maybe make some Nightmare cards. But honestly, the combo itself with the Scapegoat, that depends on, you have to draw the Scapegoat by hard drawing it. So really, it doesn't take long to go Hornet Drone into Kagari to add your Engage or your Hornet Drone back. Honestly, realistically, it just doesn't. Their turns don't take long. So I think with the combo of these two decks together, they make the format a lot worse than what it really is, and they make the time rules a lot worse than what they really are. That is like a huge thing that goes towards this. And I was really thinking about, well, in previous formats, would the time rules be so bad? And honestly, I don't think it would. I'm sure there'd still be Saki wins. I think we'd see a lot more people playing like cards like Poison of the Old Man, or burn cards, or life point gaining cards to help them win the duel or win the series. But I think we'd see a lot more of that. But I don't think this, like, it would really go so bad, so poorly. But in the counter argument, if we moved towards more of a control based, then just in general matches would be longer. If we look at the amount, like, time of matches, sure, turns may take longer, but matches probably end up being around the same amount. So this is one of the main theories that kind of break the whole, this format is just really poor because of the two decks that are topping, because combined with the time rules. So we look at something like Altergeist. Actually, I know quite a few Altergeist players who end up going into time quite often because their deck doesn't bring out anything big of damage, and they stun your opponent. So you really just kind of slowly build up and then win duels. So this is one issue that the time rules would still have a problem with regardless of the format. So it was just kind of a thought, an idea. Who knows though, it could be really different if the format did change. We wouldn't really know unless the format was different and we've only really played with the combo oriented deck and this burn deck with these new rules. But anyway guys, that's what I have to say about it. My final verdict is no, the time rules are bad and need to be changed. Despite the fact that events are being run a lot smoother, a lot better, I think sacrifices have to be made to keep the competitiveness of the game to a standard level. I think it goes down with the time rules. I think it's not quite as competitive, not as fair. There's a lot of issues with it. So I do think the rules still need to be changed, but I think that with the right format, they wouldn't be as bad as they are now. But they will still be bad. That is kind of my final conclusion. Let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section down below. That's what I have to say about this time rule business. I'm not a big fan. Like I said, I got the first round tie because the Goki player took quite a decent amount of time on his turns, and I took a decent amount of time on my turns. Not quite as long as him, but you know. He U-linked me like twice, so it's like I still played out of it winning a game. But yeah, anyway guys, that's all. Please comment, like, subscribe, join the Brick Brigade, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.